Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. My name is ThaTimster. Today I'm going to be going over part 19 in the Project FPS tutorial series. So in the last part we went ahead and we got blood on the screen going for the character, as well as some health for him and a regeneration system. So if a player takes some damage, then a timer will go down and then regeneration will start again. So, yeah, that's about it. If you haven't already seen that tutorial, be sure to check it out so you'll be up to date. But apart from that, we'll get straight on into this tutorial. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add myself some screencast keys. Then I'm going to press Alt-H to unhide everything. Then I'm going to press Shift-S, cursor to center. Then I'm going to press Shift-A, and here we're going to add ourselves a cube. So this here is going to be our sensor, so let's just make it an actor, and then here let's call it player sensor. Then I'm going to press numpad 7 to go into top view, Z to go into wireframe, and let's just move it around, so SX and then SY, and you just want it to sort of scale outside of the player like so. Alright, then what we're going to do is we are going to hold down Shift and then parent it to the head, so Control P and parent to object. Alright, so now we just need to move it up, numpad 1, and then just move it up relatively to the same height as the player. Now if you think about it, the player's eyes are going to be here, so the top of their scalp might not actually go past around here, so they probably shouldn't be able to be hit around there. So let's go ahead and make it a bit smaller, but not too much, and then also let's move it down, so around about there. Also, if you want to make the player more vulnerable, you can sort of add the damage further down. What you can also do, if you'd like to, is you can have different damage sensors. So one damage sensor for the front or the head of the player, then another one for the legs, and another one for the body. And then you can have different types of damage depending where the player is hit. But again, that's up to you. I'm just going to add one, and yeah, somehow that should be fine. Alright, cool. So we have that sorted. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide all of them again, and this one as well. And now what I'm going to do is get on into the knife animations. So the first thing I'm going to do is select this, our rake here. I'm going to go to pose mode, and then over here choose knife change. Then what I'm going to do is select this over here, Alt R, get rid of the rotation, and then we're going to select the empty, Shift S, and cursor to selected. Alright, go over to layer 2, select the knife, M, and move to layer 1. Let's go back to layer 1, and then select the empty, actually no, select the knife, if we can, then Shift S and selection to cursor. Alright, now we're going to hold down Shift, select the empty, and then Control P and parent. Numpad 0 to go into the camera view, and then move around, there we go, and it's updated. So now we'll go over into texture view so we can see what we're doing. Then we're going to select both of these bones here, and then I'm going to add a new animation, so the plus button here. Then this one I'm going to call knife underscore attack. Attack, not attach. And then what I'm going to do is go over to frame 20 here. So first of all, A to deselect, then go over to frame 20, press Control K, and then X and delete. So we only need the first frame here. And then what we're going to do is we will make this animation 20 frames long. So let's go back to frame 0, Control K to select everything, Shift D to duplicate, and then GX 20. And then press enter. Alright, so we have all of those done. Now what I'm going to do is we want to go ahead and start the knife animation. So let's go ahead to frame 5 and select record down here, and also choose location rotation. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get the starting pose sorted. So I'm going to press RX, rotate it on the X axis, and RY. So we just want to sort of get a slashing animation going. RX again, and we want the slashing animation to be across the center of the screen, because that's where the ray gets shot out. So let's go ahead and do something roughly like that, where the top of the blade will line up. Alright, cool. And maybe a little bit higher, because it will be going downwards. Then what we want to do is maybe around frame 8, we want to bring it all the way across, like so, and then RZ to sort of bring it inwards. Now you'll notice that there is a problem with the hand, so let's move out, and then it will be the shoulder here. So RZ to rotate it on the Z axis, and just move it in. Alright, so that is looking a bit better. So let's go ahead to frame 15, and then we're going to go and select this bone here, and select the hand bone as well. Then I'm going to press RY to rotate it on the Y axis, because we want it moving down underneath the screen, so roughly somewhere like that. And yeah, that should be good. So slashing across, and then bring the knife down and back to the start. So let's also go ahead and animate the left hand over here, because that's doing nothing the whole time. So while he brings it up like that, on frame 5, let's go ahead and move it up so it's sort of in the same motion like that. Then and insert a keyframe, although it should already do it for us. And there we go, upwards like that. And then also we need on this frame here, we need this hand to also move down. So let's go ahead and move it down here, and also press RZ and maybe move it outwards a bit like that. Alright, and then again that should add the keyframes for us. So bring the hand up and then slashing down. What you could also do, I guess, is you could just move it down instead of sideways. So maybe just move it down as well. Now the rest of it should be fine. It will have enough time to adjust to the starting position again. So yeah, that should be about good. So let's go up over here and add ourselves in the animation. So add an action, and then let's move this up here, go back to object mode, and then underneath the player rig, go ahead and add one more action, and this is going to be the knife attack action. So knife underscore attack. Then we're going to press enter, and in here we'll select knife attack, so this one here. Then we're going to end up at frame 20 and start at frame 0. Obviously we're going to leave on continue to help smooth it out a little bit. So with this animation we just made, we are going to go up here, add ourselves another Python controller, and in here call it knife. So what we need from here is single, and then also a knife key, so we'll add always as well, and then also over here let's add a keyboard for knifing. So I guess we'll just call it knife, and then normal key for that is usually F, so let's just use that. Otherwise any other key, I don't know what other keys they use for knifing. But regardless, put that one in there. So then what we're going to do is add in a new script here. So move down, and over here, text editor, move it across, and then here, add a new script, and call it knife.py. I cannot spell knife.py. There we go. Alright, up the top here, import PGE, and then let's go ahead and copy and paste from one of the other scripts, just to make our lives easier. Yep, just copy and paste from ADS to knife.py. There we go. And what we want to do here is we don't want that. We want to have single and knife imported. So single is equal to cont.sensors, and then single again, and then knife is equal to cont.sensors, and then knife. Alright, and then properties over here we have equipped, timer, change, reload, ADS. I don't think we really need, so let's go ahead and delete that. Then what we're going to do is we will go ahead and we will edit in here. So knife.py, and then at the end, let's go ahead and join it up. So, oops, that might have been a bit small. Let me zoom in. So from the knife, join it up to the attack animation. Alright, move it down. And then what we're going to do here is enter twice, and then I guess just knife attack. If single dot positive and equipped is equal to, and whatever number it is, so I think it is 5. So equipped is equal to 5, and timer is equal to 0, and change is equal to false, and reload is equal to false. Then next line, what we're going to do is we want to go ahead and set change to true. So we need scene imported. Scene is equal to bge.logic.get current scene. So let's go ahead and set reload to true. And then while that is on true, we'll have a timer going down, and then we'll be playing the knife animation. So this is basically to stop the player from spamming the knife, and yeah, the sort of knife attack animation resetting the whole time. First of all, actually, we need to add in our player, so I guess just player is equal to own, scene.objects, and then own.name. So enter next line, and over here, player, and then square brackets, and a quotation mark, and then in here, we want the property, which is reload, and then closing quotation mark, closing square brackets, and then that will be equal to true. Alright, so if that is equal to true and the timer is equal to 0, what we also want to do is go ahead and set the timer up. So timer plus what is equal to 20, because that's how long the animation is. So if timer is greater than 0 and reload is equal to true and equipped is equal to 5, then what we want to do is go ahead to the next line, and we want to activate the animation. So this is actually what we'll have to do in here. So let's go ahead and import in the animation, which is just called knife attack. So actually, let's go ahead, double click in here, select all of that, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, is equal to cont.actuators, paste that in. Alright, and then what we're going to do is activate this. So first of all, put that in here, cont.activate knife underscore attack, and then own timer minus what is equal to 1. So that will be going constantly. Then what we're going to do is go ahead to the next line. Then over here in the next line, we want to check whether timer will basically run out. So if timer is equal to 0 and reload is equal to false and equipped is equal to 5, then we want to reset everything. So player reload is equal to false, and then we want to cont.deactivate and then knife underscore attack, and then also actually the timer will be at 0, which is what we want, but apart from that I think that should be about good. So let's go ahead, delete all that, minimize that over there, and try it out. So move it across, move this up. So I'm going to select my knife here, press Alt P to clear the parent, then we'll press M and move to layer 2. So now I'm going to press numpad 0 and we will try it out. So there seems to be a bit of a glitch, so of course that will be from this here. So let's go ahead and select Ghost as well, and collision bounds. Alright, so the problem we have here is that the timer over here, we haven't actually put own timer, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So actually the problem here is basically we are making sure it's at 0, we're adding 20, and then when it's equal to 0, which is at the start, then we're deactivating everything suddenly. So the best idea here would be to actually go ahead and delete this line. Go over here and change this to plus 20, and over here make it equal to 20. Then at the end of it, own timer minus what is equal to 20. Or we can just go ahead, own timer is equal to 0. And one more thing we need to change is also this over here. Needs to be making sure that timer is actually less than 20. Alright, so now we're going to press P, try it out. Number 5, equip the knife, and there we go, we have our animation. Cool, so there is our slashing animation done. Now it might be a little bit fast, considering there's only about 3 frames of it. So let's go ahead and sort of soften the animation. So let's go select the rig, go back to the dope sheet, and let's go ahead and smooth it out a bit. So select this, frame 8 to deselect, Control K to select those keyframes, and then we'll press GX and let's just say 10. So that should be good. Let's press P and try it out. So numpad 5, or just number 5, and there we go, that has a bit more time to it. Now also what you have in most of the FPS shooters is you have the player sort of unequip his gun, equip the knife, and then knife immediately. So if you say press knife on the keyboard, the player will unequip whatever gun he has and equip to the knife and then attack instantly. So what we're going to do to be able to set that up is we're going to first of all hide all of this stuff in the way. Hopefully I'm not I'm selecting the wrong things. Alright, let's hide these so we can see what we're doing. Then numpad 0. And here what we're going to do is we will go ahead and set up the knifing. So let's select this gun spawn here, move this up, minimize this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make this window bigger, change it to text editor, and we'll go back to knife.py. Before we do anything here, let's actually move this up here, add ourselves an AND controller, join it up with knife, and then we want target to switch to 5 whenever we press knife. So there we go, that should work. I have it on V, let's put it back to F. Then I'm going to move this down, and what we're going to do is we actually need one more property, which is going to be auto knife, and this is going to be a boolean. Then this here, when we do want to equip the knife, we want to also go ahead and set the property. We want to assign auto knife to true. Alright, minimize that, and then also let's add tap here so we can only really do it once. Alright, I think that should be about it. Now let's go ahead and import in auto knife. So auto underscore, or just auto knife, I think it was. Yep, and then press equal own auto knife, knife, and then what we're going to do is we will edit in here. So I guess auto knife attack is what we'll call it. Auto knife attack. Now over here we also need to make sure that auto knife is set to false. So and auto knife is equal to false. So in here, if single dot positive and equipped is equal to 5, and timer, I guess we can almost just copy and paste all of this. So Control C to copy and Control V to paste, except this time we want auto knife to be true, all the rest to be false, and then we're going to press enter. Then we're going to go over here and change this. So again, reload over here, and I guess over here we'll also have to add and autoknife is equal to false, so it doesn't execute at the same time, and autoknife is equal to false. Alright, reload is equal to true. So if timer is less than 20 again, so copy and paste pretty much all of this. So let's just select all that, Control V to paste, and then in here let's change it to true instead. Alright, and it's set to true. And then over here we want to also player, and then autoknife is equal to false. Okay, so that should be all of that done. Now let's go ahead and try it out. So number 0, scroll in, press P. There we go. So we have this weapon equipped. If I press F, we'll switch to the knife, and we should automatically attack, but we didn't. So let's go ahead and see what that is all about. There we go, we have an error on line 31. So this one over here, whoops, I forgot and then also over here. Alright, let's press P and try it again, and then press F. Alright, so it's single dot positive here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, because we don't need that to be true. Now let's press P, try it again, F, there we go, and we have an automatic sort of attack as soon as we have equipped, and then we're back to the knife. Now if you really wanted to, you could try and get the player to re-equip their old weapon, but the hard thing about that is you're going to need to somehow store what they previously had equipped, and then you'll be able to sort of get that information back. Then you'll need to sort of read that animation and then apply it again, so they sort of draw back the weapon they had before. So I think sort of this method is probably a more realistic and easier method, where if they just knife, they'll sort of equip the knife and then instantly attack, and then if they want to, they can switch back manually to the weapon of their choice. So there we go guys, that's the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know with a like, comment or share down below. All of that stuff would be greatly appreciated. If you have any more like requests, or I don't know, you need help with something, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to help you guys out. But apart from that, I think that'll be about it. So again, hope you enjoyed the tutorial, have an awesome week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.